Well, old south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some fucking songs. Rank them songs. The song's gonna end rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
Sure is long.
Yeah. Ew. All right. Hey,
Well,
welcome back to Up Our Stones on the new channel. Check that out, guys. So
we're cheap bastards for like an episode or two.
yeah, well, we'll get it figured out or something. We're currently on the hell, yes. Also, the Like 500 Channels podcast now, or Like 500 Takes.
500 takes, yeah.
We have 7, so
I believe if we're on the timeline of the community, we're still technically behind the shed of multiplex. The shotgun just hasn't been taken to this yet.
Not yet. Oh Jesus! Before we start, buy our shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Don't have shit.
Yeah.
Although re-listening to, I think it was the last episode that came up, Lasagna of Tension needs to be a t-shirt.
Or a team name.
Yeah.
What?
Ooh.
Right? Cody, you and I are going to be a team next year. We're Lasagna of Tension.
We're going to lose. Fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are back to give Brooklyn and I's top 500 songs of all time list because Rolling Stone can suck it. Cody here is the voice of the people. If he finds something that he doesn't think deserves to be on the list, he still has 4 vetoes and 2 switcheroos.
Well, I think there's a chance for 1 veto, maybe even 2, and I think the second one may hurt the most.
The first one's definitely going to hurt the most. I'm not going to lie. Cody, what are your overall thoughts on this playlist right now?
Yeah. I think I said it last episode that like this one has like a mixture between like clear, obvious, like awesome songs, but also like some of my favorite songs. So it's like a pairing there. So it's like there was a lot in the past episode. I think it was just like obvious this one makes it. It gets that credit because of the significance of it in time and space. But like this is like a mixture where it goes like into the common people, where it's like it's popular for that, but it's also awesome. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun this episode, and let's just say this: I will only have 3 vetoes by the end of this episode. I'm letting something is on shotgun alert. So.
All right, let's get it over with. Number 110 is Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel.
And that's not the veto for this week.
Okay.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay. Well.
You're welcome.
If that's the case, I'm going to start us off here. Salisbury Hill is a sonic masterpiece. It just sounds incredible. That 7/4 time that the song is in is just the perfect choice. It has a bounciness to it, but it has a nostalgic kind of like wistfulness to it as well. I think that the strings in this, especially there's like some cello in the back, which is just absolutely perfect. Peter Gabriel is just on top of his vocal game on this, and I love some of the imagery created in the lyrics. I could see the city lights, the wind was blowing, time stood still, Liberty, she pirouettes, and like things like that. It is a sonic masterpiece with a lot of great elements when it comes to the songwriting.
Yeah, I'll agree with what Andrew was saying. Like the whole 7/4 structure, it gives it a nice kind of pace to it. Especially, I think it's like even just a foot tapping whenever he's doing that guitar intro. In itself, we mentioned the cello, and I was like, oh yeah, that's that. Like it's almost like a sliding kind of thing because like when you even outside of the song and you go to this album is kind of out there. Like if you know Peter Gabriel from Genesis, it's a bit zany, but this one in particular is obviously like the most most easily digestible, I guess, of all the songs, and it's kind of stood the test of time. My favorite moment in this though is like the my heart's going boom boom boom, and then that is actually when it cuts into 4/4, which oddly even like makes it faster as you get into like that into the end of that chorus. But yeah, I'm surprised that we have this as close as we do, given how much you love Peter Gabriel. I do think this is it's an awesome song and definitely like above the average. I think just for what it tries to do.
I think on the official Rolling Stone list, this is sitting at like 462, which is
it's pretty low. Yeah.
Cody, you surprised me by not automatically taking this one out back. Tell me why you decided to let this one stay.
I think I've said some really harsh words about Peter Gabriel, if I'm correct.
A few.
Yeah. Something like the poor man's... Did I say he was the poor man's Phil Collins? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. He is definitely the poor man's Phil Collins. But he could never come up with a song like Son of Man. But anyways,
this is true.
With that being said, this song's good. So this song like gets the pass like of the like I enjoy the beat of it. It's kind of it sounds really dumb. Don't get me. I know this is a different song, but it reminds me of the opening or like when they're on in Ice Age when they're like on the way. That song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems like a good like it should open like start of a journey song, like of a journey in a movie or something like that. It's like it's a fun like I could see this like in a coming of age movie, stuff like that, like how it would just play together. So it worked for me. It didn't. I actually listened to it. Didn't look at. I looked at it last week when I was playing the playlist and stuff, and then I was like, "Oh, this is good." And I looked down, and I had to like do that minor scream, like, "No, this is Peter Gabriel. I have to veto this." Then I found another song to be able to veto tonight. So
I don't know.
I think
listen. If 19 other ones were good, regardless if I liked it or not, I was going to shoot in the back of the head. But Old Yeller gets to run one more day.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
Now that this isn't getting vetoed,
if you know me, you've been on this show. This is episode 20. You know exactly if I'm going to use a veto on a song, what song it's going to be.
Yep, because it definitely ain't anything else that I can see in this section. So let's move on to number 109. I'm sure this is not the one that Cody's talking about. Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin. Brooklyn, you have it lower, so you get to go talk first.
Yeah, so for this one, I remember whenever I was making the list and I was like, I'm not sure where to place it because there's definitely a part of me that think that this is like overplayed or people generally go to this as their favorite Led Zeppelin song. But then I think it was like it was on like Britain's Got Talent or one of those shows. Somebody did a cover of it, and it really made me appreciate the kind of the nuances of it, like Robert Plant's delivery in it, and just kind of how he is delaying some of the words in this, and then just that chugging riff of Jimmy Page mixed with how John Bonham does with the drums, or not the drums, with the bass and whatnot. I just think there's a nice kind of chemistry with that. But then also like it kind of gets into Police levels, like of like the kind of the weirdness of like way down inside, like woman you need, and you get these like almost like siren-esque kind of sounds. You get the kind of like the hitting of the splash cymbal on the drum kit. And then you just get this doom, 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 do, and like cuts into this like really cool guitar solo. And I think like, and the effect that he has on that guitar is so sharp, but ultimately it just comes down to that rhythm and just how catchy it is and how head nodding it is, even still to this day. Like you throw this on a karaoke and I think everybody's still rocking it.
We could talk for like an hour about how genius John Bonham was as a drummer. But it's that groove. It's that groove. It sounds like a car engine to me, like a perfectly like made car engine. Because it's got a good drive to it. Ha 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 ha. That wasn't planned, but the other thing I love about this song actually is the production on this. It's semi psychedelic. With the way that the sound kind of like ducks between like the left headphone and the right headphone. It's wild. It's experimental. This is some of my favorite Robert Plant vocals on any of their songs. Yeah, it's a great rock piece. Cody, what are your thoughts on Whole Lotta Love?
I don't love it. Yeah, I think it sounds cool. I think it has those moments. This one is one of those that fall into like the iconic side instead of like that I would have on a playlist. I would never like turn it off, but like I'm also not a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Like I think I've made that kind of like I'm not like I think that I respect them more than I like them personally, and that just may be like a not expanding my horizons and listening to enough of them. But yeah, overall, I understand why this could be, and especially people that like to play instruments and stuff. This song seems like a whole lot of fun.
Oh, one quick thing. John Bonham is the drummer. John Paul Jones is the name of the bassist. I wanted to correct myself there.
How dare you?
Yeah,
I know.
I was going to correct you. But I let you do it because I was like, "How does he not know this?"
you were mentioning like guys like instruments or whatever, and my first moment with Led Zeppelin that really made me appreciate them. It was whenever I was working in kitchens, and the day that we were having was just fucking. It was shit. Like everything was going wrong, and one of the cooks threw on Communication Breakdown by them, and I was like, okay, I get what these guys are going for. Like you can be having a shit day, but you can still like rock it out.
We'll definitely be talking about Led Zeppelin at least one more time later on in this series.
Yes, we've already talked about their best song, I believe.
Disagree, but we'll get to that. Moving on to number 108. Now I'm scared. This must be the place, Naive Melody by Talking Heads.
God fucking damn it, really?
That's called a veto.
Okay, no. Oh god.
Let us get one like little quick blurb about this song out, why we had it, and then we'll go to you, Cody.
You go first, Andrew.
It's that Naive Melody. It's just that light, delightful, quirky, which is probably why Cody hates it. Quirky melody. It's just very relaxing, very calm, and it's a cute little song.
So for me, there was a moment that made this song from good to great, and it's the bass line, because there's a simple way to play it, and then there's like the actual way that it's recorded. Because when you hear it, I think it's immediately you can kind of play it straight, like the. But what she's doing in it is. She's holding that first note, and then the second note is kind of shorter, so it kind of gives this inherent kind of groove to it, like this. Anyways, but no, this is just something really cool. And then also like in the songwriting of it, I thought it was really cool about like it's them kind of like moving to a new place and not really being sure about it, but hey, like kind of give it some time. This song should be higher. I would put it in the top 100 now. It's been an earworm, and I fucking adore the song. And I was like, if Salisbury Hill doesn't get vetoed, it's definitely this one, and I'm so fucking pissed.
Cody, tell us why you just broke Brooklyn's heart.
Well, I messaged Andrew and I said, "Hey, how many more Adele songs are coming up?" And he said none. And I said, excellent, thinking that it was going to be Peter Gabriel gets cut. I'm putting All I Ask by Adele on the list. So it was, I don't do Spotify to rap. I don't do that crap that everybody has. I do have Apple Music just because that's what I have. But All I Ask by Adele was like my number one song this year. I think it's absolutely great. I think it could play like a movie, like how that, like a romance movie, like it's such a powerful song. Is like, just give me one, like, What If I Never Love Again is like one of the most like heartbreaking songs. Like, All I Ask, I think it's an emotional song. I think her voice is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and I mean, I get 4 of these. These are not like timeouts. I don't get to use them next game, so gotta take it when I have it. And I heard this song and I was like, listen, one thing you just can never say and me go together. I don't like Quirky at all.
Yep.
And I've been very nice over these past few weeks. I've let a lot of things slide. This is one I'm not letting slide anymore, so I had to use one. So
real quick thought from me about this song. I really like this song a lot. It's not my favorite song off of that album, though. That would be When We Were Young. But All I Ask
Great
is
one, too.
It's a very beautiful.
It was in consideration.
Brooklyn, any quick thoughts?
Man, so I'm just listening to this live for the first time now. I've never heard of this song. You got an argument here. This reminds me a lot of "She's Out of My Life" by Michael Jackson. Also gives kind of some Both Sides Now from Joni Mitchell. Yeah, this has got some bite to it. I really like it.
Yeah, it gets in near the end, like it gets real. It's like you just feel, and plus, I think it just helps that this is she's went through divorce. She's very open about her divorce too, so she like knows like those are not just writing. She didn't just take another person's song and write. Like this is like the pain she feels. So like, yeah. I think it's crazy. So.
That was definitely something that helped because I was like fucking going through like my downswing or whatever, and it was like, hey, Adele and Casey Musgraves both put out a divorce album this year. It's like, okay, I don't feel as bad.
And like even one of the lines in All I Ask is like, I'm not asking for forgiveness. All I'm asking for is just one more like thing, like I never loved again. Like, oh, crazy! It's a great song though. It's really bad when I sing this one really loud and proud in my car, and I'm in a happy marriage and not heading towards divorce at any time. But like, yeah, it's just like she sings Taylor Swift breakup music. Like we're going through. If anybody heard our music taste, they think we're really going through it, but we're not. We're happy.
All right, let's move on then to number 107 on our combined list, that being Miss Jackson by Outkast. Brooklyn, you have it lower.
There's just 2 songs on this list. This and another song that I'm just like, of course these hit. Not that they're not good. It's just funny that they're on here.
This isn't my highest ranked Outkast song. I don't
not
believe.
mine either.
No, but still a great one. Like obviously our generation got this through like the music video, and I think that music video is so iconic. But it's the beat, and this is really the song where Big Boy gets to shine. Like Andre has a kind of a cool verse, and especially you get that like forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. That kind of that moment. But I remember talking about it the last time we did on the show. And Big Boy writes best when he's pissed off, and especially when it's about his baby mama and the kind of all the things that's going on with their kid. But think about anybody our age, and all you have to say is, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson," and then they can finish it. Ooh, I am for real. Yeah.
I remember one time for some random reason, one of my college classes before the teacher got there just like broke out into this. It was a wild moment. I think the thing that actually really pulls it together for me is the synth. Um, like the beat and like all of that is great, and like the reverse snare drum, I think that's just like
Yeah.
a brilliant addition. But it's for some reason that synth is really the thread that just like holds that entire beat together. Um, yeah, Andre and Big Boy are just like at the top of their games in this moment. I love the dichotomy between their like their pieces, where Big Boy is just that like pissed off, angry, like, well, fuck you, and Andre is that, well, this is what could have been kind of verse. It's just a great balance. Outkast had some of the best produced hip hop songs ever made. Um, so yeah, it's just it's an incredibly tight piece. Um, Cody, are you sorry with Miss Jackson?
No. Uh, so it's interesting. I would argue that this song, the hook, whatever you call that, I don't know, the title, whatever it is,
The hook. Yeah.
is probably arguably like one of the most well-known hooks of all time. Like, I remember like fourth grade, a bunch of us being like, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson," ooh, and we had a PE teacher named Miss Jackson, and now like looking at the lyrics, clearly not what we were sorry for.
Nope.
Just want that on the record. But sorry, Miss Jackson, if you're watching, big fan follower. Anyways, no, I think it's really good. I think it's all outstanding. When you guys like, this is not my top rated Outkast song. Like, I can't wait for us to hear Roses in a little bit. But
That would have been a good choice.
they see, but I think this is like the Outkast that people forget about, honestly, because they kind of went goofy. I'm not saying that's in a bad way. Like, Hey Ya, Roses. Like, I'm not saying those were bad songs. It was more just like for like creating funny music videos or doing that stuff, or like jumping into the 2000s where they did, which is fine. But like, this stuff is like awesome. Like, this song, I bet there are a ton of people that know the hook to this song, but have rarely listened to the words of the song. So I think it's outstanding.
I feel like this was. Well, was this the last album before Speakerbox? Like, where they really like where they split up and did kind of two individual EPs?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and again, they needed each other more than they could ever do apart. So
yeah,
that's just the truth.
Yeah, and if you listen to the Andre 3000 album that he just released, not what you would expect. Wild Swerve.
Is he in country now?
No, it's a flute instrumental. Yeah, jazz.
Ambient jazz.
Don't ever tell me to listen to that, okay? I'll tell you right now. No, thank you.
Although there is one artist switching over to country. Post Malone is looking to make a country.
He's a Texas boy, though. That was gonna happen.
Oh, I saw him do Pickup Man on an award show or something, and I was like, huh, Joe Diffie, country boy. All right, I'll listen to it, whatever.
All right, let's move on to number 106. A big gap on this one. Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. Brooklyn has this lower, so Brooklyn gets to go first.
Yeah, looking at it now, I would probably switch This Must Be the Place with Johnny Be Good in terms of placements. But this is still an incredible song. Like, just how it's lasted, and like the guitar beats and whatnot, and how it's just held on. Also the delivery that Chuck Berry has in this, I think it's quick enough, but it still kind of gets out the message of this guy kind of being on the side of the road, and then him being like, "Oh, like you have hope someday. Like, I hope that one day, like they see your name on the sign that like Johnny Be Good is playing tonight." And I think it's just been like, it's definitely like a timestamp piece, just because of how much it's influenced. Like Go Johnny Go, I feel like has been kind of riffed off so many times, especially when you get into like bluesy kind of stuff, or like the like rockabilly kind of style. So that's where it gets its placement.
Yeah, you're right. This has been very influential and like used a lot. The amount of times I've heard other artists play this just like ringing a bell, it's a lot more often than you would think. Actually, the thing I like most about this song is how autobiographical it feels. Like it feels like he just kind of like wrote a song about himself, um, to like the truest form that he could, and it fucking slaps. Like that guitar line is just like fucking amazing. And Chuck Berry, this is easily the best I think that he has sounded on the song. Um, the hook is just insane. It's just got a great energy to it, and it's just absolutely infectious. There's a reason that this song became the historical staple uh, that it's referred to as. Um, so yeah, Cody, I know you. You know you. And I know that you know that I know you. And I know about this and a little movie called Back to the Future. Tell me more about Johnny Be Good.
Your kids are gonna love it. I mean, how dare Brooklyn even like put that other song in the same stratosphere of Johnny Be Good? But that being said, this one just has a special spot in my heart just because of Back to the Future. Like, now, even taking it out of Back to the Future and just listening to it as a whole, that piano, I think that I am a common man, a very simple individual. But if you ever hit the keyboards with like just some force and some like movement, you got me automatically. Like it doesn't take a whole lot, but that with that guitar playing and just I mean he makes me care about guitars. Like that doesn't happen. But no, I think it's absolutely insane. Like this song and what he's doing, and he's fast. Like how he's able to play that guitar and sing as fast as he's singing is just insane. And like, yeah, it's great.
All right.
And they were right. Your kids are gonna love it. I do love this. So fair.
So do I. So moving on to number 105, that being California Love by Tupac featuring Dr. Dre and Roger. I'm going to start us off because I have this lower. God damn that beat. That beat is so fucking cool. The piano in that, oh my god, it goes hard. That sample is just absolutely nuts. And that opening verse by Dre is one of the most iconic opening verses I've ever heard in my life. Payson Johnson is watching this episode, a friend of ours, and he is going absolutely nuts right now that we have it this high. But the thing that I actually really love about this song, and I don't think it gets enough credit, is Roger. Roger is one of those artists that kind of got lost to time, but he's one of those guys that knew how to use a vocoder incredibly well. Like that auto-tune, anything that affects your voice. Because just the California knows how to party. California. Just like that little element just heightens this song. And I don't think that he gets enough credit, so I want to put that out there. And then, of course, Tupac, his charisma is just emanating out of the ear, like the headphones and speakers. Like it's an incredible piece.
Yeah, this song it's fucking awesome. Like the horns in it as well. Weirdly enough, I've heard the song mashed up with Royals by Lorde, and it weirdly makes sense. I'll send you guys the link after.
Weird.
Yeah. But you were talking about like Dre's verse, but I would argue like even both verses are good, and just how they get the introduction in. Like Tupac's like friggin' oh my god, where is it here? I had the point. Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing Hoochie screaming. Just what a way to kind of walk in. But just the flow that they have, and then you get these little like oohs in the verses. I feel like it just kind of like it stretches out the sound and like the depth of the song in general. And you're talking about Roger and like how he's using that sound, and it really hits effect in the end because like radio play, I feel like they kind of cut out that ending section, but like when you're listening to like the studio or the album version, he carries that same kind of pace and vibe, and it's just him. And like what a cool way to kind of end a song, because I feel like so many other songs will just kind of fade out with the hook, where he's like, no, like we're going out with a bang, even if it is just me.
It's a celebration anthem. It's a party anthem. Yeah. It's a swagger anthem. Cody, what are your thoughts on California Love?
A state that's untouchable, like Elliot Ness.
Yeah, let's go.
A track that hits your eardrums like a slug to the chest. That's crazy. Like, just one, I've heard the song forever, but like I took the time this week to like listen to like the actual lyrics and all of it. Like I've just always went along with it. But man, this song is crazy. Like this song should get way more credit than it deserves. Like than we give it, and we give it already enough because I think with Dre and Tupac, I think they get enough like credit at this point in time just because of like who Dre is now, like who Dre became, and Tupac of course passing away early. So but no, this song is outstanding. Definitely if you're gonna put hip-hop songs on the list, this is definitely one that needs to take a spot. So
and
I would say
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you first. Thanks.
No, I was gonna say this is on the Mount Rushmore of Dre beats. There are two others in particular that I think are better, but this is definitely one of the most catchy.
All right, let's move on to number 104 on our list. That being "Surrender" by Cheap Trick. I have this lower. This is in my top 100. When you think about this song, it's kind of dorky, but it's kind of dorky in all the best possible ways. It's literally a song about your parents are cooler than you think that they are. Like that's literally what the song is about. But it's also just like I've got a great energy. Those guitars are just absolutely perfect. And that synth line that kind of flutters around is such an iconic piece of music that Panic at the Disco stole it without any credit to Cheap Trick. Just want to put that out there. But yeah, no, it's just an absolute power piece that just fucking slaps. The chorus, just like the way that it just like rides that crest is absolutely brilliant. And then you get the layering at the end of like the chorus, and then just like Sarah's all right, money's all right, we're all right. It's just like a perfect way to end this dorky song that should not be anywhere near as cool and as awesome as it is.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I talked about it last time on the show. My first introduction to the song was Jeff Garlin singing the hell out of this in Daddy Daycare with Eddie Murphy and Steve Zahn. But yeah, you're right, especially when they get into that key change and it's like the verse of like whatever happened to all the seasons of Losers of the Year. Every time I got to thinking, where do they disappear? And it has this like. It was kind of like a precursor to like All the Small Things by Blink-182. It kind of has that similar chord progression, kind of in nature, but obviously has that like 80s kind of synth. Or this is 80s or late 70s?
Late 70s.
Late 70s. Okay. The other thing though, and I'm not sure if it's because the two songs get played at work a ton, but I almost put this one up with like Fox on the Run. Like Fox on the Run kind of has a similar energy, and I'm not sure which one I like more now because they're both great. but I also really like Fox and the Run, and Fox and the Run didn't make my list. So maybe I let the people decide that one. But I also feel like Cody's just gonna like this song anyways.
Cody?
So I don't love this song. And the reason why I don't love this song is Guitar Hero 2. It was in the first tier, and anytime you started a new game of it, you had to play it. So it's one of the most overplayed songs from my lifetime, because if I wasn't playing Surrender, my friend was playing Surrender. And if my friend wasn't playing Surrender, his brother was playing Surrender. And then somebody else was playing Surrender. And then, guess what? We did it on medium. We're doing it on hard. Now it's like, Mama's all right. Daddy's all right. I'm going to kill I just was done. I was done and I was over it. And I surrendered. All right. I surrender. So like when I heard it this weekend, I twitched a little, like while driving. Something in my brain hasn't fired since I was like 13, and it's firing now. And I'm just like, whoa, what's happening? Like, I have to go into the multiverse.
It's not Slow Ride levels of bad, but I did not realize that this was the first song in Guitar Hero 2. So I could definitely see that, because Slow Ride will never be the same for me because of how monotonous that opening riff is.
Slow Ride's also just overrated, to be completely honest.
Slow Ride. I also think that's in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Sure.
When they jump out of the airplane.
Somebody get Jim Creed. No, that's Higher Ground. That's Red Hot Chili Peppers cover of Higher Ground.
Okay, fair.
Wildly different.
I don't know what Nope, I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's it either, but it's right.
All right. Let's move on before we make Jim Green and Nazario any angrier. Number 103. We're almost getting to the top 100, guys. Work It by Missy Elliott.
Can't wait to hear you two talk about Work It.
Brooklyn, you have this way higher than I do.
Yeah, it's a absolute ripper of a song. I love Missy Elliott's swagger. Excuse me. In whatever song she's doing, whether it's this, whether it's Slide, Get Your Freak On kind of has a similar thing, but she's like, it's this big kind of tease. I'm like, see my hips and my tips, don't ya? See my ass and my lips, don't ya? Lost a few pounds in my waist, and she really has this confidence to it. That I really think is kind of emulated, especially nowadays with it, like let's use like Big Dick Energy and like WAP, and those other songs. I feel like they kind of take influence from this one. Although similar to The Message, has a bit of a yikes moment. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese boys, and then like not even close to like Mandarin or I'm not sure what they're like, even if it is like Thai or whatever the language
Korean,
is.
we don't know.
Thai. Yeah, no, it's very racist. Just get that out there now.
Like milk.
Back when it was okay, or just yeah. But yeah, other than that, an incredibly great hook. Like she was really able to get all of the weird out of Timbaland. And I'm even realizing this now. In the verse of "Girlfriend Wanna Be Like Me Never," you won't find a bitch that's even better. There's listen close up while I take you backwards, and then she does the verse backwards, and it transcribes as like backwards. It take to like Missy way watch the way Missy like to take it backwards, but she does it like backwards to forwards. So really cool. Just something that I'm noticing literally as I'm looking at the lyrics.
Yeah, so that one line about the Chinese boys, that's literally one of the reasons why that it's as low as it is on my list. That thing is aged. I said like milk. Nah, that thing's aged like cheese.
But like the maggoty cheese that's like, oh, you really gotta that's a thing, Cody. That is a thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing, and it's disgusting. And it's expensive as hell for some reason. But there are two reasons that this song does make my list in general. Brooklyn touched on one of them, and it's Missy Elliott and her confidence. Like, she delivers these lines so confidently, even though they are absolutely absurdly silly. But the other thing, come on, y'all, say it with me. It's Timbaland's production. Timbaland's production on this is just so.
Oh no! Did you lose Andrew Cody?
I did.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll go to you for your thoughts while he catches back up.
Listen, I have respect for both of you. Put it at 268 for the problematic stuff, please. I don't buy that at all, Mr. Andrew Barr. Nice cover. But at the end of the day, like, it's a good song. Like, it's fun. Like, also, giving her on here because of her confidence. Have you heard? Then give Missy Elliott all of her her whole album should be on this song. Like, I've never heard a more confident woman in my entire life. Like, and even if you listen to her today, she's as open and honest about who she is and like how blatant she does things. So, listen.
Although funny you mention that, because I was talking to a friend the other day and we were talking about like people that we want to see live, and she was like, "Oh, actually, like the last person that I went to go see was Missy Elliott," and she was like, "She wasn't good, like not as good as I was hoping that she would be." And the only
maybe after the weight loss,
maybe,
but it was all in the weight.
Well, she finally got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, which is good honor.
Yeah.
One text from my mom telling me that she loves me, and my internet just drops. So you guys were saying, go ahead.
Your mom may love you, but I don't. Click. No, I still. Again, I think like I said when you're no way. Put it at 268 for problematic, blah, whatever. I don't think you just would include it if that was the truth. My viewpoint on it is she's just, listen, like there's an elephant sound that like plays during this song. Like that's just enough to like, let me work it. Put down. Also, there was a viral moment that ruined the song for me. There's an old lady at like a county fair or whatever, and she does this song. And like made it her like she showed up way too often. Like it was probably almost 10 years ago, but it burned in my brain for way too long. So yeah. But I mean, hey, I'll give Missy her credit. Work itself. You put this on in a car, yeah, a lot like everybody's having fun in the car. It's just a fun song. So
all right. Fair enough.
Your internet sucks.
What's funny is that the internet started to but I know it does. So we're gonna move on to number 102 on our list. Fire and Rain by James Taylor. Brooklyn, you talk about this. I'm gonna just do some internet things.
Okay. So one thing that I wanted to get here while I search for my capo. There we are. First of all, the lyrics, the opening of this, I think, does a really good job of kind of setting the story. This is about his sister. I believe it's self-harm, or like she dies. And it's like, Suzanne, the plans they made, put an end to you, walked up this morning, and I wrote down the song. I just can't remember who to send it to. Kind of gives this kind of like mysticism and a real openness to it. And then you got the second verse, won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You got to help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. And you really get his emotion. The thing that I wanted to kind of mention or talk about music-wise, though, on the guitar, because you get yesterday morning, you let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made, and then he does, so G is normally this, but he does this cool thing where he takes his index finger and brings it down here, and it's one off of the root or the scale itself, so it's and it creates this little kind of tension. I really appreciate that about the song. That's the only douchey thing I'm going to say about music wise, but no, it's fucking awesome.
It's the earnestness in James Taylor's voice. You can tell that he's lived through all of this, and it's a weariness that just really adds so much color to the performance. Once again, cello. The cello in this is just such a beautiful touch. It's just an amazing warmth that washes over the production. And those lyrics, man. My favorite lyric in this one is Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Just such a beautiful cadence to that line. It's just an easy standout for me on this. And it's just a beautiful piece that is kind of depressing. But there's a lesson learned in having lived that kind of life that's projected through James Taylor's performance in this. Cody, I know that you're a big fan of this one, so I'll let you go on.
Yeah, James Taylor was like is like one of Garth Brooks's like biggest inspirations when he's singing, and Garth Brooks is like up there as my favorite artist of all time. But with James Taylor's like Fire and Rain, like it's such a beautiful song, such simple thing, but like James Taylor's voice is like so soothing, like it's just so like he's not the best vocalist of all time, you can tell that like what he does, but like it just feels like a homey like voice that just works. I don't know, it's one of those comfort songs that and it's not really that comforting because it's like his daughter, like his sister died, but like it's just like a nice peaceful like song to put on while driving, like windows down, like just enjoying the day. Like it's kind of good. So yeah, Fire and Rain, couldn't agree more. Should be top 100. We're close to a 92, so I'll take it.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see what is one spot above that at number 101. One spot above this, but one spot
I like
away
when you say that.
100. Like a Prayer by Madonna. So
56.
I know. It's wild. Especially for me, knowing my tastes. But it's there. I can't explain it that well. I really like Madonna. I respect Madonna like from her early stuff up until about 2000. Like a Prayer though is one where you can tell there was a lot of work put into this one to make it just right. The instrumentation on this song is incredible. The bass and the drums on this song are a lot more impressive than you would think they are when you listen to it. Because you're kind of like wrapped up in like how catchy the melody of this song is. And it very much is. And Madonna's giving one of her best vocal performances on this song. But the thing that really skyrockets this song for me is the choir. The choir vocals on this song have so much gusto and power and emotional weight behind it. These people are absolutely killing it on this track. And then you combine that with that bass line and those drums and that guitar that comes in like the last 2 minutes of the song. The power and the build and the swell, it's epic. And I love it when pop music can be epic like this.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you that like the choir and like the guitar and drums are really doing the heavy lifting. It definitely sounds like from a writing perspective that she wrote the chorus first and then kind of built it off of that, just because of how like minimalistic everything that's going on in the verses and whatnot. But yeah, just like the little kind of like the percussiveness that the guitar has in the chorus, and like you don't normally think of Madonna as like kind of like belting out these kind of moments, but especially when you get into the choir part of like it's like a prayer, I'll take you there, and then she's just wailing on the end. I have a bit of a weird spot with Madonna since Andrew gave me American Dream on that list. I just and like and now and especially now because like whenever I listen before the shows, I always throw these on Spotify on the TV, and it has usually an updated picture of the artist at the time. If anybody has seen Madonna in the last couple of years, her cheeks. Her cheeks somehow look bigger, and she somehow looks de-aged. It looks not the greatest. But you do you. But like before everything, Tell Me and Before is great. I think I said it on the show previously. Like it's a top 40 song like of the time. Like it's bubblegum pop to an extreme, but it works.
Cody, what do you think about Like a Prayer?
Listen, so I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. Just bear with me while I do this, okay?
Cool.
So a couple, like earlier this year, I went on a deep dive. Anybody else former pro wrestling fans?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I went on a deep dive on pro wrestling, just old school stuff, and then it swarmed my For You pages on everything, Facebook, everything. I've wandered on this indie thing, don't know where it is, but there's a wrestler out there apparently that enters to this song. And I thought that was the dumbest thing on the history universe. And then I heard about 5,000 people in unison sing Like a Prayer for this wrestler. It was a hook. I think the song's good in general. I think the song is really good. I'm not a huge Madonna fan, but to hear an entire arena sing Like a Prayer like for a wrestler is kind of crazy to me. I don't know why.
This would give baby faces like a huge pop. Who walked out to this?
It's an indie guy that I don't even know his name off the top of my head. If you look up Like a Prayer wrestling, it's everywhere. The guy is it's all indie. So, but to hear an arena pop to the song, it's such a cool song too, because it's like the lyrics really work, but then like choir comes in. It's like everything just into it. And I'm not a huge Madonna fan. Like, nah. But this one works. Good choice. 56, maybe a little high, but I'll take it.
It's that epic scale thing that I've talked about before that I really love. All right, we finally made it, guys. Top 100 songs of all time, according to Brooklyn and myself. And let's start off with a bang. Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield. Oh my God, that fucking groove. That fucking groove is so good in this. And just like those little guitar flourishes, just like the ding ding, ding ding. Just add so much color and texture and richness to this. But Dusty Springfield, she's just like the queen of blue-eyed soul. Like her voice is fucking butter, my guys. And I love the little storytelling. I'm so sorry, Cody. But I love the little storytelling elements of this. It just like the way that, like, she builds up this relationship between her and Billy Ray. And it's just like one of those things. It's a coming of age song, and it's like, of all people, it was the son of a preacher man. And it's just like those little things like that just add just leaps and bounds to the quality of the song.
I really love the dichotomy of Dusty Springfield's voice, like you mentioned, like very soothed, very mellow. But then I think it was a very smart call arrangement wise to get the horns. I think it was like a tenor sax and a bari sax. Just that low, rough kind of sound, I think meshes really well with her voice, and it does such a good job creating the tension, especially when you get like at the start of the song. It's like, then you look into my eyes, Lord knows to my surprise. But then you get later into the bridge, and they do that slight little key change, and they're like in theory, they're doing basically the same thing, but it sounds so fresh as they're changing into the new key. So I really appreciate it from that standpoint. I I said it on the show before, but I feel like this is the cooler cousin version of Me and Bobby McGee. Kind of has that same sort of feel. But I'm curious as to what Cody thinks, because I feel like he's also a big Me and Bobby McGee fan.
This song is so good. Like, so good. Like, a perfect, 100. Like, it could be even higher, but, her voice and just the sound of it, she could be telling me about, the tax law in my town, and I would listen to the whole thing. Because it's I just got lost a lot of the time just listening to it. I was just like, oh yeah, she's singing. She's saying words right now. But I didn't care what they were. I just love the beat to it and the thing. But it's just God, she has an insane voice. It's not fair, honestly. It really isn't. I always think about this, these artists that got back then and made cut early careers and how little money they made. Compared to today's monies. Think about that. If her voice was around today, how much money she could make with it.
My God, she would have fit right in with the Adele and the Amy Winehouse.
I think the one that always throws me is, you guys know this. We might have talked. We've done so many. If I say a song that's on the list, my apologies. But have we talked about, or have we done? Oh my God, Tanya Tucker. What's her song? Delta Dawn. Is it on the list? Okay, that's fine. That's fine if it's not. That's not a problem. But
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've heard of that song before.
Delta Dawn, what's that flower? No? Okay, fine. Listen to it. Good song. Either way, she was 13 when she recorded that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you hear that song, it doesn't sound like a 13-year-old. What are we talking about? I suggest you listen. I think you've heard it in Brooklyn once you listen to it. But It's crazy. Sorry. Tangent.
No, that's cool. Since we're not even, it's not even on our
Great
list.
song.
It's a good song for other people to know about.
Hey, I might use a veto on it. Who knows?
Who knows? Moving on to number 99, though. Benny and the Jets by Elton John.
Oh, so okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see what happened here. Okay.
Cody is connecting the dots, as the kids say.
The red yarn is coming together. So, Benny and the Jets. It's wild to think that Elton John did not want to release this song as a single because he thought it was too common. Nuts to me.
Really?
Yeah, he did not want to release this song as a single because he thought it was too plain. And to know that, that's insane to me. Because just the way that he plays the keys on this song, it's unlike almost most other songs I can think of, to be completely honest with you. And the production on this, it's one of the greatest produced songs of all time. Because the way that the fake audience that's inserted into this is so on time and on rhythm at points, it's astonishing. But it adds this extra flair and just soundscape that is just absolutely awe-inspiring. Lyrically, I think that this is one of Bernie Taupin's peaks. It's just an insanely fun listen, especially when Elton goes up into that register of, "Oh, Candy and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, but they're so spaced out." And just I don't know what it is about him adding that little stutter to Benny and the Jets and the elongated S. There's just so much interesting flavor that this song has. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just looking at the lyrics right now, and even beforehand, that this song is about drugs and drug use and the sorts. Benny is the drug dealer, and the Jets are the thing that take you off into Cloud 9 or the fucking stratosphere. You were mentioning, Andrew, kind of how the piano and everything kind of reacts. I feel like this is one of the best examples of Elton really fitting to Bernie Taupin's storytelling and what he's trying to talk about. Because it's the most psychedelic, I would say, of Elton's discography. And if you don't get it into the song, you definitely get it when they use it in Rocket Man, where it's really just kind of tripping out in that moment. Especially like the second verse really plugs it home. Hey kids, plug into the faithless. Maybe they're blinded, but Benny makes them ageless. I thought that was a really cool one where it's like a lot of people that kind of get into that, they're looking for something, and it's like hey, if you take this, you're not going to feel anything. Like you're just going to feel like you're in the present, and you're not really like elapsing through time and whatnot. And then the last line of the verse as well, where we fight our parents out on the streets to find out who's right and who's wrong. Because with a lot of that, it's like there's so much of the intervention and whatnot. I thought those really good writing and really good sense of mind for Elton to kind of give it this style. But yeah, it's really cool. 99, I think is a good placement for it,
Yeah.
especially like knowing us and knowing how much we love Elton John and like two others in particular. It's good that we have this one as kind of like it's like the appetizer of the Elton John courses.
Because we definitely have more Elton John coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Cody, I know you're also a big Elton John fan. Hit us with it.
Yeah, I'm a big Elton John fan. I think this one falls into the camp of I enjoy it. I don't like. It's not my top 10, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to go into it. I have to
Let's go back to the Elton John Billy Joel episode and see where it ranks.
Yeah, that it would be even probably different now. But it's he just has so much fun in the song, and I just I indebted a lot of my life to this man. Lion King and all. So appreciate him. But overall, he has so much fun in it. You can tell it. The songs. I just don't find this song as sing along as some of his other ones. So like it plays on. It's a good like put on and let it play in the background. But most of the time I like to sing along to whatever song I'm listening to. So. But I will always do Benny and the Jets. So, yeah, good choice though. He deserves every spot that he can have.
Agreed. All right, moving on. Number 98 on our official list. Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Eurythmics. I have it lower. I love the kind of like dark gothic vibe that this song has. This is something that I feel like, and I'm not saying this as I know how I'm going to sound. Depeche Mode wishes they could make this song, in my opinion. Not to put any shade on Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode's great, but Depeche Mode wishes that they made this synth line, like that dark wave kind of just like bassy, enveloping synth. It's one of the greatest of all time. Annie Lennox is just. I feel like people talk about how beautiful Annie Lennox's voice is, and it is. It's very angelic. But here, it's sinister. There's a sinisterness to her vocals that just like really balance alongside that dark instrumental. The what would you say? It's a bridge. The hold your head up, move along, keep your head up, move along.
That's a bridge or like a post chorus because it's not because they do that multiple times. I think, don't they?
Yeah. Well, the structure of this song is kind of like all over the place, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But like that moment is just absolutely brilliant. Just like the way that she hits the upper register, then lower register, and upper register, then lower register. And the little tinkling of what I have found out to be glass milk bottles in that moment.
That's what that is. Okay.
They were so broke when they originally made this song that they just used empty glass milk bottles to make that little tinkling like xylophone-esque kind of sound. it's such an interesting piece that if one thing goes wrong, the entire song falls apart. But it's amazing.
Yeah, something that I really noticed about the opening riff that I thought was really cool. They almost delay giving you the melody of it, because you get that root note, like the dun dun, and then just how they kind of play around the main melody of it, like do 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 do, and then you have this walk down, but then they go back into it like the do 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 do, and then it's really cool whenever songs are able to kind of go back to like those two notes in the higher end, but then still have the descent really kind of make sense. But you were mentioning as well, Andrew, that like that bridge or post chorus or whatever it is, I found that was really cool because it takes it back to everything that you love about new wave. Like whenever you were talking about it, it reminded me of like I think it was like Blue Monday, where it kind of has that lively kind of upbeatness, and it's like, oh, it kind of has the best of both worlds, like that sinister aspect that you're talking about, like especially like just the opening lyric, "Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?" And then that other part, it's like, all right, well, let's kick it back into gear and whatnot. There's another aspect that I want to talk about as well, because this mashups incredibly well with actually another song that we're talking about later in the show, but I'll get to it whenever we get
there. Cody, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this one.
So I apologize. I hate this song.
Ugh.
But I hate the song in the aspects of it was, I don't know who, but it was a family members of mine's favorite song. And it would always play in my house. Okay. And like it almost to the sweet dreams are made of, like I just every time I just was like, I don't know if there's a song that's more burnt out in my brain than this song. So it's not, but the thing is, I'm not using a veto on this song is because like I understand liking it. I understand enjoying it. You weren't my family member that played it nonstop, so at that point, you get a pass. But holy shit! Oh, yeah.
All right,
Isn't there a cover to this too?
There's a lot.
Marilyn Manson covered this for it was either Clash or Wrath of the Titans in that trailer.
That's right.
Oh, right. And they used this in another trailer, and I don't remember which one it was for. But it was one of those stupid slowed down pop songs to make it sound more sinister, even though it already sounds like that.
It's never Sweet Dreams, though. All right, fair.
No. All right, moving on to number 97 on our list. Shout Parts 1 and 2 by the Isley Brothers. This song is so much fun. This song is so much fucking fun. It's wild. It's energetic. It's crazy. It's euphoric. But it also has that moment where it hits the slow down part, the gospel part, where he just goes, "Now wait a minute." I can't do that as well as he can. But you suddenly add the organs and just like the rest of the group just literally shouting, going like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah!" Just like absolutely adding so much extra energy to that moment. And then a little bit softer now, a little bit softer now, a little bit louder now, a little bit louder now. And it just like increases and it revs right back up. Oh my God. It's just it's a roller coaster of a song, and it's incredible. Whoever is playing the tambourine on that song needs an award for being able to make a tambourine sound that amazing on the song. It is one of the all-time best wedding songs for a reason, and it is just like a fantastic song to dance to. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think the other thing that is helping it along with like the energy of it with the tambourine is that the bass line, and in particular when they're using like the double bass, because the double bass in particular, you get a more percussive aspect of it as opposed to like a traditional like 4-string bass, because when you're playing it, it's almost inherent to kind of slap after you hit the note, so you get this kind of like this ghost note or whatever. But just like the do 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 do, like it's very reminiscent of like, what if the bass line from like One Way or Another and like kind of the bass from Super Mario World kind of had a baby, because they got like it's in the same key and has that same kind of energy. I feel like Super Mario World definitely took aspects of this to kind of make the theme. The thing that I will reiterate, I think this is, of all the songs that we're talking about, like in the top 500 in general, this is the song that works well for literally any age. Like imagine. This is the question I really want to ask to Cody. Do you feel like your kids would enjoy this, especially as like almost like a Saturday morning kind of wake up song? Like, hey kids, like let's get excited, let's start the day. And it's so safe and family friendly that I think it would just work. Like it's almost natural instinct to just kind of dance and get excited to it.
Well, Cody.
So this is the song that if you want a dance floor full, you play Shout. Like, it's that part of a wedding that is, you've done the bride and groom dances, you've done a few warm-up songs, and then you play Shout, and the tie is going around the forehead, the shirts are coming a little bit more unbuttoned, and like you almost tear your ACL because you're 30 years old and you shouldn't go that low, because every time you go soft, you got to go lower, and then you just like turn into a full mosh pit.
That actually happened to me once at a wedding.
Oh, it happened. It happened to me every time. Like, one of my favorite, like, I listen to a lot of Barstool Chicago, and one of my favorite ones is there's a guy that has a picture at his wedding. He left and went to the bathroom or whatever and realized that he missed Shout. And he's vocally in the picture, like, I miss Shout. Like, I miss Shout. Like, and like, it's one of those songs, like, you just can't. And we brought up Last Dance too. Like, this is like a middle song. Last Dance is a perfect ending song of a wedding. But like, something like this song can bring back like those high school dance moments of just like absolute just blast, because this song there's nothing, no dance moves required, no special stuff. It's in the group screaming, jumping, having a blast. So when I saw Shout, I was like, yes. Like, this is one of those songs that definitely makes a cut. And if your wedding doesn't have Shout, I may take my gift off your the table and not give it to you. Like, that's just a rule.
That's rude. It's just rude.
Yeah. Especially people that have live bands, that bring live bands to weddings and then they can't do Shout, is just one of the like and they don't do it the same way. Like, you have to have a voice to do Shout.
Yeah.
And I don't need the Walmart version of Shout, right? I want the Shout, right? You put your iPad, connect your iPhone to it, play the song, and then you come back to your drums and stuff, because I don't care about it at this moment.
It's like that. It's like that meme of, yeah, but we have Shout at home. And then you just see like,
I don't want Shout at home. Yeah. Great right. Song, great choice, guys.
All right, let's see if we can keep up with the momentum then. Number 96. Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. More cowbell. There, obligatory more cowbell line. This song is okay. For those of you who are watching and don't know, I perform musical theater professionally. This is a musical theater lover, like, introduction to rock song. Perfect. Like, it has that like swell and haunting atmosphere to it. But then you have like those lyrics of Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. 40,000 men and women every day. Just like, it's like Edgar Allan Poe wrote a rock song almost. And the guitar. Come on. The guitar line in this is just instantly memorable. And the ending. the ending has one of the best builds combined with like an amazing verse like ever. And it's just like this little moment of a woman just like lying on her deathbed, and then the curtains flew, and then he appears. Like just like the way that they build the visuals in that last verse is absolutely perfect. It's one of the best moments in music, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just a brilliant, brilliant piece.
So I definitely appreciate the guitar riff in it, especially kind of the little intricacies in it, because when they're hitting the like the higher notes, like the they're definitely like sustaining those, and then it's really neat whenever they go back to like hitting the root note, and they're really kind of like mimicking kind of the bass line in it. And I thought that was really cool. This is absolutely like just like a highway rock song. Very in vein with like the Waste, or even like Whole Lot of Love, like we were talking about earlier. But if you know me, I'm a sucker for call and answer, and like you were mentioning, the 40,000 women waving every day, and the echo. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper, baby, take my hand. One thing that I think often gets forgotten about as well is just how epic of a guitar solo you get in and it's almost separate from the song itself, but it fits so nicely because when they end it, like they don't rush getting back into it. They hold that last note, and then it's like, all right, let's slowly bring it back in, and then you get like the little drums, like he hits a snare, and it kind of brings back the tempo of it and whatnot. If you were to say that this gets a little bit overplayed, I think you have an argument, but not as much. But give it the Don't Stop Believin' argument. The first time you heard this, even without Saturday Night Live memeing it, it's a great song.
I mean, I will say that it's better than Blue Oyster Cult's only other hit, Go Go Godzilla.
Hey, there's nothing bad about that song. It was in Guitar Hero 3. Oh no, say he got to go looking for Godzilla.
Yeah, no, that ain't no the Reaper. Cody, what are your thoughts on Don't Fear the Reaper?
Some bands can just find it once. That's all I gotta say.
Oh wait, did they also do Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll?
I don't even remember that one.
I don't know that song, so that doesn't help. Remember the first time you listened to that? Remember, he asked me to do that. Need more cowbell. First time I heard it. Didn't hear it prior. Didn't know about it. I think it's a good song. I enjoy it for what it is. It's not one of my all-time favorites. It's iconic opening, for sure, without even having to know what was playing. Because I think there are some songs, like if you played like 3 notes into a song, like that old trivia show, there's an old game show or whatever. It's like, I can name this song in this many beats.
Yeah, name that tune.
Name that tune. I think you can get 2 into this and you should maybe be able to find it pretty quickly. So overall, yeah, it deserves a spot. Not higher than some of the stuff tonight, but definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 95 then. Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. God, the Bill Withers he just had one of those voices, man. Just one of the greatest voices in music history. It's just so rich and robust. And this is one of those ones where it's like so simple. It is incredibly simple instrumentally. It's pretty much just him and a guitar. But the way that he can make those simple guitar notes just like absolutely flourish is incredible. But this song is as high as it is because of Bill Withers. It's genuinely just because of Bill Withers and how amazing he performs this song. It's got great lyrical moments, but there's very few things that can top the I know, like that whole little bit. It's literally just him singing the words "I know" over and over and over and over and over again. But there's such a build to it that it's just it fits the mood and the tone of the song. It's a simple piece, but it's an incredible piece.
Um, Yeah, I really like the arrangement in the beat, like just how the strings sit over top of that bass line, and then you get this really kind of faint, kind of like keys almost,
Yeah,
that I think is a really good kind of middling thing. This song is
strings
starting to
wonderful.
get yeah. This song is starting to get memed. I saw a meme the other day of it was like Bill Withers and them in the recording studio, and they get to the I know part,
Oh, I saw
and
that.
it's like the studio engineers like waiting for them to cue in, and then Bill and then Bill is kind of like looking for it. He's like, all right, now come in. I do have a bit of a hot take that I learned from listening to the song today. I think the song would be lower next time I do the list because I think it's too short. This song can be fleshed out. It's a great first verse and second verse. I think it does everything that it needs to do. I just wish that there was more.
I get that. Having made that argument before, I get that. But Cody, I had a very strong reaction when we announced this one. So Cody, hit us with it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I think it needs to be longer too. I agree with that sentiment. I like that it stays, but like, I mean, what? It's 2 minutes, give or take,
Roughly.
and it's 30 seconds of I know.
2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah, and we're doing 30 seconds. I know. But again, normally that would be a problem in the song. Like, shut up. Like, I get it. I know. Like, shut up. But no, it works. His voice works. The mood of the entire song works. Everything just absolute fire. So great choice.
Yeah. And I think this is the highest Bill Withers song. So I think this is the end of Bill Withers for us, unfortunately. But
Had a good run.
That man just oozed pure music. All right, let's move on to one that I think a lot of people are going to know. Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. Brooklyn, you have it higher. Take over for a while.
Yeah, it's an unreal song. Just the opening riff that you have, similar to Miserlou or like Rock Lobster that we talked about a few episodes, kind of has that like that mysticism to it and whatnot. But how it pairs up like with the drum beat and whatnot, and then Mick Jagger is oddly mellow in this and whatnot. Especially like in the verse delivery, but then I think it really lets him shine when you get into like it's weird. I really wouldn't say that there's a chorus. There's kind of like verse A and then verse B. Like I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. And it's really cool because then when you get into the lyrics of it, I definitely get a theme. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. It's kind of like, well, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. Like I see a red door and I want it painted black. And especially when you get into the line of like, I've seen people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. It sounds like he broke up with somebody and then he's can't get over it, and he's like seeing all these new relationships happen, or whether it's like people kind of like out on the streets, like holding hands or something. There's definitely like a revenge or kind of an angst to it. But then you get to the end of this song and you get like the little and then the bass line, the little slide. I think it's just kind of wonky enough to change it up. But yeah, love the energy of it. There's a couple of really good covers. There's actually a Canadian band, Gob, does a cool kind of like punk rock cover of it. But the other one that I think actually got onto like an official like Pop Goes Punk album, I believe it's like Versa something. I'll find it after Andrew talks about it. You're muted.
Yeah, of course. You know who does a cover of this song that I actually really dig, even though I can admit that it's a little flawed? Vanessa Carlton does a cover of this song. It's kind of nuts, but it works for me personally. So this is a song that it feels imperfect, but in a good way. Like, it feels rough around the edges. And I think that's the biggest strength of this song. The other thing I think I really, really like about this song is Charlie Watts and his drumming on this one. Because Charlie Watts was like, I think, trained in jazz drumming and then just happened to become a rock drummer. But this just feels like the way that he just like bashes that snare, he's taking something out on that, but it adds so much energy and life to this song. I don't know exactly what this one's about. I think it's just inner darkness and turmoil. So Brooklyn could be right, but it's one where, to me, the lyrics are the least important element. Outside of Mick Jagger's vocals, like all the instruments and the production, those are like the big strength of this song, in my opinion. But let's go to Cody. I feel like I have a good read on his thoughts on this one.
I just want this on record saying Vanessa Carlton's Paint It Black is like anywhere good. I just listened to like 30 seconds of it. I wanted to claw my eyeballs out. Anyways,
I know. I said it. I said it's a weird thing, but I kind of dig it.
Well, dig something else.
It's kind
okay.
of like Cher's new Christmas album. It's weird, but there's something to appreciate.
Cher has a new Christmas album.
It's either really good or really bad.
Well, I'll save it for the draft upcoming. Anyways, I'll just use all Cher songs. Okay. I like the song. I don't know. I don't know where I've heard the song prior, but when I say that, yeah, there it is. Guitar Hero 3. I knew it was the Guitar Hero. Damn it. I like it. I like it for the most part. I'm not a huge Stones guy. I think that's just where it is. Like, I don't listen to a lot of Rolling Stones, but this song is one I always know. Like, I won a college trivia one time because this was like one of Guess the Songs, and I knew it right away. Like, I was feeling pretty proud of myself. Just thank you, Guitar Hero. Not that I have any knowledge in my real head, but yeah, I like it. I think it's a good song. I think it's again, when you hear like No Satisfaction and stuff like that they're known for, and then you hear like this song and the song from a couple weeks ago, it just seems like maybe Mick was going through some. Mick Jagger was going through some stuff. Like, he's going through some dark times at this point. But like, it's just like, it's interesting. I like when bands don't sound like the hits that we've always known. So it works.
All right. So moving on to number 93 then. Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. Brooklyn, you have this very high. Hit us with it.
I'm a simpleton and I like sing-along songs. This song has been talked about to death. This was the song that I was alluding to that mashes up extremely well with Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, especially when you get the bass line of this and then you start singing the opening lines of Sweet Dreams. A lot of bands have kind of done that, but Pamplemousse in particular does a fucking unreal version of it. They just really get the ambiance and the sound of it. But just the little kind of chorus aspect of it, and then like the kind of like the slide guitar effect that they have when he's doing the solo. Like, it sounds like he has like a little the little glass slide thing on his finger when he's doing it. The amount of sound that they're able to get when it's literally just the two of them, like the simple thing of just having your bass turned up super high on the amp so that when you play the root notes, you can mimic the bass, but still have like your middle and bottom still sound like a guitar. But just the, I'll bring up the guitar for a second, but just like when
Why do you keep putting it back in the case?
When the feeling comes from my bones, then Father home. just that little kind of build up. He does it as well in another song, Steady as She Goes, but he does a really good job of kind of having that momentum kind of build up to it. I don't know why. I really should just have a stand and just set it right here. So then I can just grab it and it's like this thing that I want to do and put it right the fuck back down. But no, this is a sporting anthem now, like I've talked about. I don't see it ever leaving the top 100 for me. I think that's how big of a hold it has.
So fun fact, that ain't no bass.
No, it's on a bass. That's what I said. Like it's on his guitar, on his amp, he turned up the bass super high, so that he was able to use like the E string as the bass.
But I just know so many people who are like, "Oh, that bass line is sick." Like I was one of those people until I learned otherwise. I know that this is a particular favorite of friend of the show, Amaru Moses.
Yes.
He loves this song, and there's good reason why. Simplicity dialed up to 11. That guitar riff is so simple, but it's so simple that the human ear just automatically latches on to it. And it's just a really catchy melody. The other thing about this song is the production, because you can feel the sweat that this song kind of has. It feels grungy. It's dirty. It's like greasy almost. But that kind of adds to the raw element to this song that is really, really powerful. And as you said, guitar, drums, that's it. But it's just really good. Don't really have much more to say. Cody, what do you think about Seven Nation Army?
It's a song that you know instantly when you hear it. Common Folk, that's a bass. We wouldn't know it's guitar. I'm going to still say it's a bass, so I piss off music people. Like, that bass really fucking good in there. It's not a bass. Sounds like one. Fuck you.
I know how to play it on bass, so if that's the case.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. But, yeah, good song. Not one that I went to when I was younger. Like, I didn't listen to it a lot. So it just was played, and I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. So, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to number 92 in this episode. We've already talked about him before. We're going to talk about Leave On by Elton John. It's super high for me. This is my number 28. I think this is Bernie Taupin's masterpiece when it comes to writing. It's just a song about the difference between the generational age gaps and just like how naturally younger people want to distance themselves from their parents. And just some of the imagery in this of just like that Jesus, he wants to go to Venus, leave on far behind. Take a balloon and go sailing. Oh my God. But I think the thing about the lyrics of this song that are just immediately some of the smartest things I've ever heard is that chorus. It's he shall believe on. Because you can take that two different ways. You can take that as he shall be the person, leave on. Or you take it as one full sentence, he shall believe on. And it's just a master craftsmanship when it comes to lyricism. That is just so powerful to me. Elton sounds absolutely incredible on this. It's one of my favorite piano pieces from him. It's kind of up there with the piano and Tiny Dancer for me, actually. But man, I don't remember the name of his producer in the early ages. But
Gus Dudgeon.
Yes, Gus Dudgeon. Thank you. I believe he's the guy that Stephen Graham portrays in Rocket Man the movie.
Okay.
it may be someone else, but it was his choice to put the strings in here, and the strings sound better than they do on almost any other song that ever has strings. They soar throughout the end. Madman Across the Water is one of Elton John's best albums, aside from like one song that's kind of and this is the masterpiece from it.
Yeah, I would agree that Madman Across the Water is a really, really fucking good one. I think with a lot of Elton John albums in particular, though, there's always that one dud, like even Goodbye Yellow Brick Road has Jamaica Jerk Off or whatever the hell it's called. But I think it's really cool. My first introduction to this, somebody actually did it on the long forgotten series Canadian Idol. That was a thing for a little bit. It's actually where we got Carly Rae Jepsen. She was a finalist on that show. But as I was looking up the lyrics, something I didn't realize, they got Levon from Levon Helms, the drummer of the band, and they actually say that like the band is their favorite group to listen to. So I love that kind of commonality because the band is fucking unreal. But as I was looking at it as well, because there's that random name Alvin Tustig, and it's like, okay, like let's look into this and kind of see what it's about. They say that it's a fictional person, but I guess Tostig comes from, where is it? It comes from like this person from like the 9th century, I guess it is, or no, I guess it'd be because it'd be the 11th century because it comes from like the 1040s, and I thought that was like kind of interesting because if you know anything about British humor and like even Canadian humor kind of does it to a sense, they really love like their in jokes in that kind of sense. So I thought that was a really kind of like neat thing, especially like if you're from I would love to hear like somebody from the UK's perspective on it, just to kind of see like how that line kind of fits in. But you're absolutely right, Andrew. Like especially in the chorus, similar to like Father and Son use by Cat Stevens, or like the Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon, like that song, or even to a sense like the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie kind of has similar vibes of like, oh, like you're my son or my kid is going to move on, and I hope that they take the best versions of me. And there's something very like endearing and very sweet about that. Maybe just the kind of the time of life right now. But yeah, it's like it brings a tear to your eye in a sense.
Also, real fast, Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chaplin almost made my list.
That's Cat Stevens.
But no, it's not.
I know. I made that joke on the show that my family told me that it was Cat Stevens. It was not Cat Stevens.
All right, Cody, you're obviously the knowledgeable person when it comes to Cat Stevens. Tell us about Levon by Elton John.
Levon's a great song. This is the wild thing. I've listened to this song a long time in my life. Never did I think someone was going to have this like higher than Benny and the Jets and other songs. But it's to be truthful, I just didn't give it. I don't think I give it the credit it deserved. Like, it's great. It's a fantastic song. He does such a good job storytelling. When he's passionate about it, you hear it in his voice and like what's going on. Like that whole part is like, in Christmas morn and woke up with a paper that God is dead. Like it's a beautiful song. Like overall, great storytelling. Elton's one of the best, and yeah, it's definitely one that I did not give enough respect to. So look at you showing the light when everybody else was in the darkness.
It doesn't happen often. Every once in a while.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel, we all know. But
okay, let's move on to the final song of this episode, and hopefully Brooklyn comes back.
You're gonna make Jake Marangoni very happy.
Very happy because number 91 on our list is "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette. Take it away, Brooklyn.
So yeah, for those that have been in the community for like I want to say 3-ish years or so, you remember that there was one episode of Weekly Album of Multiplex. It was one show, and I made a very bold call to try and do a new show when I was trying to do a job that I had no time to do literally anything else. and this was the album that we covered. It was me, Jake, and Caleb Boatman. And something about this song, you really get a sense of like pettiness from Alanis, especially when it's about like her ex kind of getting with this new person, and she has all these kind of like quizzical kind of things, like, is she perverted like me? Would she go down on you in a theater? And like the really kind of like anger, would she have your baby? I'm sure she'd make a really excellent mother. Like this really kind of like sharp kind of digs at them. And then on top of that, you have like, oh, sorry.
Is this the song about Joey from Full House? Is this
Yes,
the
it
David
is.
Coo? Okay. Just one thought.
Okay. I did not know.
Yeah, it's about Uncle Joey.
Oh, okay.
Dave Coulier.
The one with the puppets.
Oh.
Cut it out.
Oh,
Yep,
dear.
it's about him.
Okay. But yeah, so it's weird because like amongst all that angst, you have Flea doing Flea baseline-y kind of stuff. Yeah, and then like the guitar in this, there's a heavy amount of wah pedal. If you ever watch Booksmart, they really hammered down like the chorus of this and kind of what it's about. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away, and you really kind of get that same kind of like evocation from I forget the actress's name. I'm not a movie trivia nerd, but what the hell is her name? Caitlin Dever. That's who it is. But no, just like it's a really cool song, a really cool record in particular. But yeah, that's all I really got to say.
What I love about this song is just how raw it kind of sounds. Like Alanis doesn't sound great on this song, quote unquote, even though she's fucking amazing on this song. The instrumentation is just like rough and ragged, but it all comes together incredibly well. The thing that I love the most about this song is the lyrics. You mentioned some of them, but my favorite moment in this song is when Alanis just really digs into the line, and are you thinking of me when you fuck her? Like she's really digging her knuckles in as she's like stabbing this guy. The line about and every time you scratch your nails down, every time someone scratches your nail, every time you scratch your nails down someone's back, I hope you feel it. It's so personal, and it just like really adds to the power and the rawness of this song. It just fucking rocks. Cody, this is one I can see going a couple different ways for you, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's like a Crazy X song to me. Like it's like a little before Crazy X of the thing, like all that stuff. These two didn't do it. I just want to speak on it. That is terrible and poor theater etiquette. Do not do that. Are you perverted? You're going to jail. Okay, you're going to jail if you do that. Do not do that. Just want that on the record.
Talking to Miss Lauren Boebert of Colorado.
Why did she go see Beetlejuice? She's probably bored out of her mind. Anyways, either way, all I'm saying is this song is a respect level, not a like level. I don't like it. I just don't like. It's a very upsetting song.
Yes.
Like I couldn't put this song on while driving around with my wife or my kids. You know, it's just this awkward, like, just start screaming like "fuck her," like, yeah, we're fine, everything's fine. But I respect it. I like some other songs from this album, but not as much this one. But this is very popular.
What's your favorite song from this album?
I don't want to tell you.
Don't say it's all I really want. Don't say it's all.
We already went over that. He didn't. Yeah, that was not it.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after we stop the recording. But that's it for this episode, guys. Let's quickly go over what we talked about in this episode. So there's Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel, Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. We vetoed This Must Be the Place. So All I Ask by Adele, Miss Jackson by Outkast, Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry, California Love by Tupac featuring Dr. Dre and Roger, Surrender by Cheap Trick, Work It by Missy Elliott, Fire and Rain by James Taylor, Like a Prayer by Madonna, and then we crack into the top 100 with Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield, Benny and the Jets by Elton John, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Eurythmics, Shouts Part 1 and 2 by the Isley Brothers, Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers, Painted Black by the Rolling Stones, Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, Leave On by Elton John, and You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. Cody, I just sent the playlist for the next episode. Guys, from now on, we're only doing 10 songs per episode. We're going to make these a little shorter, but considering this is the top 100, got to keep it long. Cody, what are your thoughts?
Oh, there's just one on there that is my childhood song that's just I have yeah.
Oh
yeah, I'm excited. It's just, let's just say of the 10 songs, one song will maybe played like 10 to 15 times. Just saying. Great choices. It's going to be interesting. Only doing 10, so there's not like some recovery. So these lists are going to be like, they could either be make or break, but we'll find out. There's some I don't really know, but then there's some I really enjoy, so it should be fun.
There's one I guarantee you know, only because Martin Scorsese loves this song.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Brooklyn, any last thoughts before we head off on this episode?
I'm trying to think of the one that Martin Scorsese loves a lot. I think I know what one it is, but
Number
I'll
4.
mention it after. Oh, okay. I thought it might have been number 5, but yeah.
Nope.
Oh no, number 5 is a different director that we'll talk about.
Nope, that is definitely Scorsese right there.
All right. With that, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's Cody Newberry. That's Brooklyn Vale. I'm Andrew Barr. Thank you all for watching, and keep on rocking.
Driving safe.
Try safely.
Do what you want.